Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Speak Your Mind. And we're going to have a hell of a show tonight. Really serious, pretty heavy-duty show. That's what we're going to have tonight. Got my buddy Stan Hunkovic telling a story about his abducted children that are now in a foreign country because his wife abducted them. Okay, so we're gonna cover that. And you just hold on because we got 2 more minutes and we're going to start the show. So don't go nowhere. I'm just going to do my thing here. We got the news. This is like pre-show stuff. You know what I mean? This is going to be terrific. I got Johnny D. How you doing? Are you going to the tomorrow? Hey, the festival down Little Italy. Hey, St. Anthony's Festival will be there. You should go. Oh, we got somebody on the phone. CBM.
A much larger truck.
Hey, Annette, how you doing? Hold on, let me put you right on.
They also had 13 Molotov cocktails inside the van that they...
All right, I got you on standby, sweetie. You just hold on, and we'll get you right on, all right?
The retail landscape continues.
How's Chicago? Doing good? All right, well, I'll tell you what. You take it easy. Hold on. This is going to be a very powerful show tonight. You know that. But we're going to put you on hold, and you're going to be right in with us, okay?
In the next 2 years.
Okay.
During a conference call with investors last Thursday.
There it is. There it is.
Necessary as traditional brick and mortar stores continue to do battle with increased competition from digital retailers like.
Come on, man.
This comes on the heels of Bay, which owns Saks Fifth Avenue and Lord & Taylor. They're cutting their workforce by 2,000 jobs. All this bodes ill for shopping malls in general.
All right.
A report from Credit Suisse estimates that up to 25% of U.S. malls will shut their doors within the next 5 years.
All right, baby.
And police in California arrest a 13-year-old boy in the shooting death of a 14-year-old. Happened about 50 miles southwest of Fresno. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News Radio.
Bam.
High pressure keeps the sunshine and hot conditions around through Tuesday.
Oh, my God.
Cloudy and warm. Lows up to 60s. Sunny and hot.
It's going to be a freaking great show. Whoa.
It's in effect for Sunday. So if you do have respiratory issues, you may want to limit your time.
It's going to be a great day. Hey, St. Leo's Festival tomorrow. I'm going. I'm going to be there, so you be there, all right?
High temperatures are possible. Highs
I'll be hanging with the Minaldi brothers.
Highs low to mid-90s. I'm Todd Borton, Weather Channel for Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
The biggest expense homeowners face today is exterior maintenance, and you have to do it over and
Okay,
over.
easy.
How would you like to never paint your house again?
Yeah, one,
well,
two,
now you
three.
can with Rhino Shield. Hi, Rick
Okay.
Duriano. It's a unique
One,
three-coat
let's go
system
higher.
that looks
One,
like rich premium
two,
quality
three.
paint, 12 to 15 times thicker, and is guaranteed for 25 years against chipping, cracking, and peeling. A three-coat system that waterproofs wood, stucco, brick, vinyl, and steel siding.
Okay.
Rhino Shield protects your home and even your business
Don't
against
stand by, baby.
rays of the sun, and you'll even save on energy. And Rhino Shield comes in literally thousands of designer colors. If you like the look of
This is going to be a very good show. You should definitely check us out. It's going to be heavy duty, heavy freaking
Call now
duty.
and kick off the new season and save up to 25%.
And yes, I'm going to play some wonderful songs
0% financing. Call
going into the break and going out of the break.
Rhino 80. That's 844 Rhino 80. Or visit us at coatrhinoshield.com. That's coatrhinoshield.com.
Love those yard sales? What? You didn't get rid of all your
that
stuff?
D.
Hi, it's Ryan from Bumble Junk, the eco-friendly junker.
Put this
You
there.
declutter your home and life. A yard sale.
I already got a couple of songs already picked out that were cool.
Boxing.
Already a couple of songs picked out that were cool. So
Back to the basement? Call Bumble Junk instead.
I called my sister,
Get it done, guys. Do
Montana, but I don't know if she's chasing bears. I don't know what
You'll reclaim your
to
space.
listen to the show tonight, so I don't know what's going on.
Go to bumblejunk.com. You'll love that yard sale because it's one and done with Bumble Junk.
The views and opinions you hear on Talk Radio 680
All right, we're coming on, baby, coming on.
WCBM.com are not necessarily
Stand by,
those of the
guys,
owners,
stand by.
management, employers, and advertisers of WCBM. But they should be.
Speak Your Mind is sponsored by Derek Stroman and Stroman Entertainment. This is Talk Radio 680 WCBM. Time now for Speak Your Mind. Here's your hosts, Derek Stroman and Jimmy Zane.
You're on,
Hey
baby.
guys, welcome to Speak Your Mind here on WCBM 680 Talk Radio. I've been gone and now I'm back. I'm Jimmy Zane.
And I'm your host, Derek Stroman. Welcome.
How you doing, Derek?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Same old, same old. We got super producer Ron Savage.
Hey, how's a happy? I hope everybody's doing. The weather's coming by, and tomorrow's the St. Anthony's Festival down Little Italy. Gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Oh, well, I tell you, Derek, we got a special guest here tonight. Why don't you tell everybody who the guest is?
Our guest is the Stan Hunkovic. And Stan is, man, he's going through a lot.
Yes,
there's a
he
lot
is.
of people out there. I don't care who you are, man, woman, child.
Very touchy situation.
Very much.
touchy.
Very touchy. Very
I
touchy.
just couldn't imagine going through, personally, myself, what you're going through. And, that's why we decided to bring you into the studio tonight,
Let people
onto the
know your
Speaking Mind
story.
show.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Is to get your story out there. Now, granted, here we are at WCBM 680, and you're on the Speak Your Mind show, and you've been on big stations, big networks, Channel 11, that's WBAL, Fox 45 talking about your story, Channel 13
Yep.
talking about your story, and you've even touched into our current presidential administration,
Yes.
which is the Trump administration right now. So you got a lot of people,
Got a lot of supporters.
a lot of ears out there listening to your story. However, even with all of that, all of these people, all of these top networks that are aware of your current situation, it's still not that easy, and you still do not have your children in your custody right now. And I just want you to reach out to all our WCBM listeners. Guys, if you want to call in and get involved in this conversation, the number to call is 410-922-6680. If you'd like to call and talk to Stan about his current situation, he's gonna enlighten us with what it is he's going through. He's going to give us some figures. He's going to give you some sites to go to if you'd like to help out.
Yes.
In his predicament here, and
And pertain your questions strictly to the situation. Let's not have anybody call. We don't want to talk about sports. We don't want to talk about any of that.
No.
This is a very serious situation, and we want people to hear it,
I know.
understand it, and hopefully can help out. So just remember that when you call in.
yes.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Jimmy and Ron.
You got it, buddy. You got it.
This all started back in 2010. Actually, before that, I married my now ex-wife, Leah, from Trinidad. Used to call her my little coconut. She of her own admitted, said she was hard-headed, but she was sweet inside. So that's what I called her, my little coconut.
Little coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was happily married. I loved her so much. And then we had a little boy, Gabriel, and then he changed my world forever. You know what I mean? When you have a little child.
Yeah.
Gabriel used to sit on my shoulder. Used to carry him around everywhere I went. And then Anastasia came into our lives.
Your daughter.
My daughter, Anastasia.
Yeah.
Anastasia Sierra Marie. And oh my gosh.
Now, how old are they now? How old are they right now?
My little boy just turned 9 on April 16th. Is my anniversary in the fire department. And my little girl will turn 8 years old on August 31st.
Wow.
And
Already.
the last time I saw them was November of 2011. The last time I heard their voice was December 23rd of 2013. And I say I heard her voice. I heard their voices in the background. I called to speak to them as a court order was given. However, it was never abided by. I used to have to call out to them. They were never actually put on the phone except for once when she called me up asking for money. And she doesn't answer the phone. So, on a rare occasion, she does answer the phone. She hangs up immediately. She filed for divorce in January of 2010, and then we had an emergency court order February 25th of 2010 for her not to leave the country.
And that went for you as well. Let's let everybody understand it. The judge said, turn your passports in. Nobody is to leave this country.
Exactly. That was for both of us. And so I turned over my passports. Little did I know that she had already gone to the Trinidad Embassy, and with U.S. birth certificates, were able, without my knowledge, consent, or permission, she was able to go to the Trinidad Embassy and get birth certificates not even passports, but emergency certificates to leave the country.
Oh.
And if you think about this is really scary. This could have been anybody's children.
Yep.
Because my little girl was only 6 months old. My little boy was a year and a half. So they could have kidnapped anybody's children and said that they were theirs using birth certificates.
Well, that's actually happened. That's actually happened.
Jesus
and
Christ.
there's been cases for that, like with your case.
I want to, we talked about this a little bit just briefly ago. So, can you tell everybody out there before you even go any more in depth about this particular situation? This is something that is not rare at all. This is happening in a couple key countries or sovereignties. Quite often, and the numbers are staggering. So this is, it's happening to you. However, this is happening to a lot of people quite often. Correct?
It is a lot more than people realize. The biggest offenders are Brazil, India, and Japan. Mexico as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's also children that are kidnapped into Canada and never come back.
That's true.
And people don't realize this. This is happening all over the world. There's over 1,000 U.S.-born children that are kidnapped every year. Most people associate children being kidnapped with strangers, but that's only 3% of all abductions.
I never knew that.
And international parental child abduction is one of the worst offenders. It's usually done by somebody who's a narcissist or has a borderline personality disorder. And it's all about control.
Sure.
And it's very abusive to children. Since Congress has been keeping track of it, there's been over 47,000 children that have been abducted out of the United States that have been reported. Now, I can tell you that I go before Congress every year with a group of people, and I can tell you with Dave Goldman, when he first went up before Congress to speak before Chris Smith, that there were parents out there that were just so devastated that they could not even get out of bed, you know what I mean, or could not even talk to anybody. That, it just is so traumatizing.
Sure.
So it is a big problem. Japan itself has over 400 children kidnapped since 1994, and not a single child has ever been returned. Now, there's a federal law in place, and there are, since the Goldman Act, that based upon that federal law, that there are steps that the State Department can take. But the worst that they usually ever do is send a demarque, which is a note saying, you've been a bad country, don't do this. Basically saying that we're upset about this, and then they'll send another demarque next year. But there's another step that's supposed to be done, and that was happening, actually about to happen with Dave Goldman's case, where they're going to file sanctions against Brazil. And if it wasn't for Chris Smith and all the television
television. Right.
Yeah, television that was involved, being televised and everything like that. He might have never got his child back.
But your case is a high-profile case. Why,
it is.
Why are you having such a difficult time? Why are you having such a difficult time knowing that it's been pronounced that it is actual kidnapping that has taken place?
Let the callers. Let the listeners know that what happened is his wife went back to her country with these children against Trinidad against court orders. So, but she somehow got an emergency petition to take these kids.
Right.
So she kidnapped him, but in a legal sense. But what I don't understand is her lawyer must have knew that she was going to the airport. I mean,
so she had already filed for divorce in the United States in January 2010. We went before Judge Cox in Towson, Maryland. We got an emergency petition, which she participated in with her attorney, who had her on the phone, and she said that she would agree to an order not to leave the country.
Debbie Divine.
2 hours later, she was on an air flight out of Air Caribbean out of New York.
She used to work for.
Yes, she used
her
to be.
Her brother is a pilot.
Yes, her brother's a pilot. He used to work for Air Caribbean. Her old boss, Brigadier John Sandy, had a security company.
That's the squawk box in case there's a zombie apocalypse or some kind of shit like that. It's okay.
And also to let people know that Air Caribbean is a government-owned
Airline. Correct.
And that's sad.
So
Yeah, it's sad.
realistically,
Yeah, it's sad.
you know, you can put two and two together. It doesn't take, you know, rocket scientists to figure out that she was actually pulling some strings. She had some people in the right places because
Her father.
obviously, you know, just a normal person wouldn't be able to do what she was able to do and actually get away with it so cleanly. And after so many years as well. I mean,
2 minutes for the break.
It's a long time now. 7 years. You're talking about pushing a generation here that you haven't been with your children and been able to see your children. And, you know, like you were explaining in the pre-show, you
Annette,
went over there.
I got you on live. Annette, if you want to talk Annette from Chicago. Talk Annette from Chicago.
Every 2 to 3 months.
Because I got you.
Would know who
I got
was.
you hooked in right now. You're in.
And
You're
at
online.
the time, Trinidad was not part of the Hague, and I petitioned based upon the Hague because Trinidad was a signatory to the Hague, and so was the United States, but they were not a bilateral agreement. So I asked, well, first of all, to have the jurisdiction sent back to the United States.
Yeah.
I was granted temporary custody. So let me backstep one thing. So she had filed for divorce January 2010. Then in March 2010, after she abducted the children or kidnapped them, she went March of 2010. She filed for divorce in Trinidad, and she lied on those papers saying that there was no other proceedings going on anywhere in the world. So I went over there and I scrambled. I didn't know anybody there.
Yeah.
I scrambled to try to find an attorney. I come to find out the attorney was ripping me off, charging me $350 an hour, sending me bills for $20,000 a pop, sometimes for 30 hours of telephone conversation. I don't talk to anybody on the phone for 30 hours. Right. I don't think I talk on the phone a year for 30 hours. So I would argue with her about that, and she would demand that I need to pay her. So, you know, basically my children being held captive. So then I was going back and forth. They delayed the case for over a year, and then they finally said that they're not. And I was, before I even participated in the court proceedings, I was granted temporary custody. I brought it over there. She was ordered to bring the children back. I requested through the courts to please bring it back, and so did the judge here in the United States.
All right, get him.
All right, we're going to bring our friend Annette in after we come back from break. She's calling live from Chicago. I'm pretty sure she wants to get in on the conversation and ask you some questions as well. We'll be right back after these messages.
And the number to call is 922-6680.
One more silver dollar.
This feels like heaven. That was the first thing I said.
Oh boy, this is a crazy show.
The cool, smooth floor under my feet.
I gotta be back. I gotta tell these guys that Annette from Chicago is in here, and oh, let's see who joined. Oh, Susie Q joined. Hey, that's cool. My guy, yeah. Rebecca Smith. Hey, how you doing, sweetheart? Bill Harvey.
Put your feet up because 54
I'll be right back. As a commercial, I gotta go talk to these guys.
So you can see what they look like, see what they feel like under your feet. Call 877-50-FLOOR now to schedule a free in-home estimate or go to 50floor.com. And now through the end of the month, get free installation. And if you mention the promo code WCBM, you save another $100. Call 877-50-FLOOR. Details on licensure at 50floor.com.
Call 877-50-FLOOR. The phone will be knocking at your door.
You can have an amazing new kitchen at a fraction of the cost of custom remodeling with chic cabinet refacing from John Hagee Remodeling.
Okay. Yeah, I had to talk to them. I tell them our friend, our guest from Chicago is on. I already got her plugged in. She's live. But if you guys want to call and talk about the subject at hand, which is a very, very heavy subject, you call in at 410-922-6680. That's 410-922-6680. I'll answer the phone. I'll put you on.
Call 410-329.
So call it.
That's 329-1002 or online at johnhagee.com. That's johnheagy.com.
Oh man, I got this really cool Al Green song coming up. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. Oh yeah! Woo! Look at this guy here. Hey, don't you just love
this guy right here.
I just went in.
I know you love this guy right
You
here.
love this guy.
You gotta love him because I love this guy.
That's right. We all love you.
That's right.
I'm going to love you more if you dial 410-922-6680.
Call in.
Be part of the show.
Our lines are quiet right now. We need some callers. Call in, talk to Stan.
Talk to Stan.
See what's going on. Ask him a couple questions. It only takes a couple minutes. Hang up. You know, be part of the show.
Yeah.
We're recording this. Ron's got a CD in there burning the show right now.
It's a wonderful show. It's our 50th show.
50, even though that's
50th
10,
airing. It's
5.
They let us
50.
on for 50 times on the air.
Can you believe it? It's an anniversary.
Am I
Come
still
on.
here?
It's an anniversary. Look, I've been around Ron. I'm talking like an Italian.
Hey!
It's an anniversary.
It's an anniversary.
Come on. Call in, say hi. It's a great show. It's a
great show.
All right? I'll be back. I got to get back in there because it looks like we're coming back from break here soon.
Yeah.
See y'all in 2.
It's all right, too. Wasn't that freaking great? Let's watch him go out the door. Let's watch him come in there. Watch him. Watch.
It is time for
I have so much fun. Oh, we're gonna ready to go on. Watch Al Green, man.
680 WCBM.
So in love with you.
And now more of Speak Your Mind with Derek Stroman and Jimmy Zane. Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
All right, welcome back, everybody. The number to call us is 410-922-6680. And once you call in, what would you guys do if this happened to you? What would you do if your kids were taken from you? And that's exactly what happened to our guest today. And we have Annette, who is in Chicago. She's part of our panel. Hello, Annette.
There she is.
I am doing great. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Annette.
It's always good to hear her.
Hey, sweetie.
Thank you. It's always great to be here. And I didn't really want to interrupt his telling of the account of what's going on with this case. So if he wanted to continue with that, like he was talking before break.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what do you think about this? And I mean, what would you do? I mean, this is your world.
And I've seen your beautiful kids sitting there. Imagine. Just imagine.
God Almighty in heaven.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is.
It's so scary because
it's a nightmare that he's not waking up from. That's,
Right. And, I was wondering if the American Embassy is doing anything to help him if they can. I don't know why the embassies in these foreign countries don't get a little bit more involved. And if they can't get involved, then are they able to provide a safe sanctuary for these children if someone returned them there? Could they detain them and say, hey, as...
It's funny in that we were just talking about that before the show, and it's very interesting. Like one of the only ones that's not willing to give asylum.
So I can tell you this, that one of the avenues that I have through the Office of International Affairs, through the Office of Children's Issues, is to ask for a wellness and whereabouts check on my children. But the problem with that is it goes through the embassy, and the embassy tries to make a request and try to contact the mother to see if they can take some pictures of the children, see how their health is going, and whether in school and stuff like that. However, it is the mother has to give permission. Now, the strange thing about my case is that the children, even though I have custody, I have sole primary custody, the children were made wards of the court of Trinidad. Wards of the court of Trinidad, basically like orphans. And so the embassy even went to the courts in Trinidad to see if they could make contact with my kids, and they refused to allow that to happen. I even requested that the embassy step in on a couple of hearings, and in the United States, hearings are open. Over there, everything's closed, and they refused to allow the embassy to enter into the courts. So they could.
Here's a loose question for you. Here's the loose question. So, in our country here, we have all the different parties and all, and, the two top primary parties would be the Democrats and the Republicans, okay? Even though we're currently in a Republican administration, however, we're just getting out of a Democratic administration. Do you think either one of the parties is designed to deal with such an issue? It seems like from your battle, because our past administration was in Obama, his particular administration. It was a lot of his calls being made during a lot of, you figure 7 years, right? You've been going through this, so
right.
Were you trying to do anything during that time? Obviously, you were.
Sure.
This is kind of a question to you to kind of help everybody pinpoint, like, what is our country? It seems like somebody should be acknowledging this. We're not talking about anything minuscule here. We're talking about child abduction, human being abduction, kidnapping.
Unbelievable.
It seems like our country should be a little more serious or pertinent about doing something about it.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems is the numbers that the State Department has been sharing are not accurate. They have the ability to keep track of that, and I think under this current administration, we're going to be seeing more accurate numbers or trying to make something happen. And there's different branches of the government, and I don't want to. I can tell you, in Maryland, we're largely a Democratic state.
Sure.
And I have gotten tremendous help from Dutch Ruppersberger's office.
Okay.
Yes, true.
A guy, PJ, in there, has taken me under, and I can't say enough about what he has done. Recently, Cardin has been helping out, and now we got Andy Harris. Yes.
Hey, good job.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Nope.
Yeah, and Andy Harris is jumping on board now because I just moved in his congressional district. So he has been awesome.
That's good. Listen, the number to call, 410-922-6680, and to let you guys know, every minute a child is being kidnapped, and it's usually not by a stranger.
That's
we'll
right.
Be right back after these messages.
Very sad.
Was that okay? Yeah.
Yes, it was.
In the desert sun, my skin began.
I picture Tuesday. Overnight.
Wow.
Lows up to 60s. Sunny and hot.
We're going to bring it back like House of the Rising Sun. You're going to die. This is a great song.
If you do have respiratory issues, you may want to limit your time outside.
Not respiratory it is.
Blue sky, Sunday.
Go outside, have a good time. Let's see who else is on here.
Sunny and hot again Monday.
Wow, we got Rebecca. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Rebecca? Bill Harvey, all right. Teresa Minot. Teresa! Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Bring out the purse. Tomorrow. I'm going to have some fun tomorrow.
And you have to do it over and over.
Look at him. He's always over there. He's got to come over. He's got to come over. What are you? Because we see him through the secret glass. We see him through the secret glass. And he's going to come over. Derek Stroman is. Come on out.
System that waterproofs wood,
Let's turn the camera. I can't stand the commercials.
Rhino Shield protects your home and even your business against.
He's talking to the people in there.
And you'll even save on energy. And Rhino Shield comes in
410-922-6680. Listen again. I'm going to try it again, okay? 410-922-6680. 410-922-6680. What did he say? I said 410-922-6680. Call in. You have a comment about child abduction? Please join us, man. This is a very serious program tonight.
RhinoShield.com. That's quote RhinoShield.
Can't stand this kind of stuff. So please call in. 410-9. Give a comment. I'm going to tell Stan. He's got to go.
they are. With all new state-of-the-art LED lighting that provides evenly distributed light, it is soft to the eye, with no more shadows or glare. This new renovation has the Baltimore Fitness and Tennis Club looking like brand new. Baltimore Fitness and Tennis is the premier tennis academy in the area. Now you can improve your game at Baltimore Fitness and Tennis with over 150 classes at all skill levels for both juniors and adults, taught by the best pros in Baltimore. It's a new and improved
That's how you do.
at Baltimore Fitness and Tennis. Call 410-653.
Let's get him the ref. I'm a freaking ref.
Set up a time to see the beautiful new tennis court.
I've got to. Here comes somebody.
Call Baltimore Fitness and Tennis. 410-653.
WCBM, speak your mind. Ron Savage, who's calling tonight?
In Owens Mills, where we provide a positive environment for the
Barry, hey.
on-the-go guest to discover and
Hey, what part of town you coming in, babe?
ensuring each trip is a
Where you at?
wonderful
What part of town?
experience at the Owens Mills Hilton Garden Inn.
Dundalk, babe. All right, Dundalk. Hey, listen. You want to talk about the child abduction? It's a very heavy scene tonight, man.
And have a good night's sleep in our newly renovated
Abduction, yeah.
inspired design, allowing you to work
Can you
cook to order breakfast with award-winning
Well, can you tell you what? Then give him a little bit of support here, man. Give him say your prayers are with you or something. I'll put you on live, okay? Just hold on, all right? I got to get back. All right, you're on there now, buddy. Hold on, okay? All right.
410-654-00.
Barry's on the phone.
Hilton Garden Inn, Owings Mills has
All right, here comes the House of the Rising Sun. You're gonna love it. So you're gonna die.
dinner room service after a hectic day. Call today to make
You're
your
gonna love it.
reservations or to plan an event. 410-654-0030.
Watch this.
The Hilton Garden Inn,
This man
Owings
named-
Mills.
Go. Radio 680 WCBM.
Welcome back to Speak Your Mind here on WCBM 680 Talk Radio. I'm Jimmy Zane, and we got a caller on the phone.
Yes.
Barry from...
Barry, baby.
You're welcome. I don't know what's going on with these child abductions or anything, but Ryan was just telling me that about them, right? Because I haven't heard nothing about them. So, what part of town is it happening in now?
A lot of the stuff that happens, Barry, goes undocumented. And,
Yeah.
you know, his case
This is the scary
documented,
part.
And it's sad because it happened right here in Maryland. It happened right here in Maryland, and it's documented. But there's so many cases out there that are similar to this that is not documented, and that's the problem. Is for some reason they're not documented because they don't know how to go about it. They don't know what to do. They report it to the police, and the police say, "Oh, there's nothing we can do about it."
Right. True.
But there's, I think I don't know if you've heard a little bit. I'm sorry, a little bit earlier. There's over 1,000 children, U.S. children, that are abducted out of the United States every year. 1,000 every year. Over 47,000 since 1979.
That's
It's becoming
unbelievable.
more prevalent, and they're the only ones that have been
Unbelievable.
documented, or
Unbelievable.
reported. A lot of people could be so devastated that they can't even get out of bed.
No.
Or just can't seem to bring themselves. They're embarrassed. They're destroyed inside.
God.
I've been working with a lot of parents, and I'd like to mention some of these fathers if I could. Karen Sanjeev, his five-year-old son was taken in 2014 to
Jesus.
India. Randall Murphy, his two children, Hannah and Ryan, were taken to Canada in 2012. We call this guy VJ to DJ because I can't pronounce his name right. But his beautiful son of 8 years old was taken in 2013, Nikita. Brian Tabler has been fighting for his girl, Joyce, since 2010. And they're a hate country.
Oh, wait a minute. I just heard about I think a guy's daughter and son was actually his wife took the kids to Trinidad.
That's
the man on tonight, baby.
That's our special guest.
Your guest is.
Yeah, I just...
There's your sign.
God love him. God love him.
Yeah, because actually I was just sitting here thinking because actually...
I love this guy.
I read on Facebook where this guy. He's trying to fight to get his kids back because he let his wife have the kids.
Well, he didn't let his wife do anything.
No, he didn't let his wife
took the kids.
Yes,
She kidnapped him against the court
right.
order.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's who our guest is, Barry.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Now, but
Hey.
now, you know what's crazy is Canada.
He's going to get the
Now, even though we don't have jurisdiction like that, but we do have a good rapport with Canada.
Barry, all right.
Canada's right there.
And yes, they are.
I can spit and hit Canada when I'm in New York. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, and I can tell you, this guy is the sweetest guy you ever want to meet, Randall Murphy. He's been fighting for his children since 2012.
This is crazy.
Yep.
Hey, Barry, thanks for the call, man. We appreciate it. Keep listening.
You're welcome. Okay.
Hey, take care. Thanks for calling Speak Your Mind Show.
All right, thanks, Barry. You have a good night, man. Be
Barry.
safe.
Keep my children in your prayers, please.
And happy Father's Day to you, Barry. All right.
All right. So a couple other guys, Jeffrey Morehouse, his children. One of the first guys I met when I came with David Goldman in 2010. His little boy Mochi was taken to Japan. He's got custody in Japan and in the United States, and he still can't get his son back. That's crazy.
Can I ask you this real quick? Because I just thought about it. Because I too am married to a foreigner. My wife is from Iceland, but my daughter.
Beautiful woman in Iceland, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wow. When I went there, I was so amazed by this. But,
He's like, hey, ladies.
And ironically, my daughter's name is Leah. We decided to name her Leah.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to figure out, in my case, my daughter has dual citizenship.
Exactly.
410-922-668.
Is that the case in your particular? Okay.
So
I'm going to go off the microphone and I'm going to talk to you guys for a
just
minute.
by entering in.
Barry, you did terrific. You're online. Freaking great. Thank you so much, Barry, for your call and support of Stan. Now I'm going to write this number down here so everybody knows they can call. And that's 410.
Law
That's
in
their law.
Trinidad.
Yes.
Jesus
And
Christ.
see, all of this stuff, all of these
922.
your wife probably was fully aware.
80.
of.
See, as I told you the week before, the laptop. Way up, so I'm like,
Brigadier John
that was pretty cool. Look at it.
Boss.
That was cool. But anyway, there's the number right there I just posted. 410-922-6680. Call that number. 410-922-6680. Call up. Give your support to Stan, man. Give your support to Stan. Call up. Some people are so brokenhearted right now that their children are abducted that they can't even call up the show. But they're listening. They're listening. Let you know, man. Bring in the support. Call
I'm
in.
glad you started to talk about
410-922-6680.
really personal stuff.
Back to the show.
I'm a married man. I've been married almost 9 years now. There's ups and downs in a relationship all the time. What went wrong? What did you start to sense when things started going downhill? And you did, because her mother came, right?
Well, and you know what's so strange?
Yeah.
She didn't have a good relationship with her mother.
Right.
And she asked for her mother, if we minded if her mother stayed. And I was like, and matter of fact, she wouldn't even call her on holidays or tell her, and she was afraid to tell us that her children was even born. So I would call them up on the phone. And I was encouraging her to have a relationship with her mother. Well, that really kicked me in the butt.
Yeah.
But I said, sure, So we made a room. We bought all new stuff for her. To have a bedroom and her own bathroom.
You
She
really
stayed
made
for
it
a month.
nice for her.
I did. And then as soon as she came over, she started creating division with us. She would keep. Leah refused to drive. She refused to go shopping. She was a stay-at-home mom. She wouldn't do anything. And, after her son was born, I grew up with four sisters and a brother. So it was 6 of us in the family. I grew up changing my little brothers and sisters' diapers. And then their babies. And then, and so I had a lot of experience dealing with that. Children, it was just natural to me. Then when Leah had never had any involvement with children before. So it was scary for her.
How old is she?
Leah now is probably 48 or 50.
Okay, so it's not like she was just some young, hot internet chick. This was a woman that you met. I mean,
she was in her 40s when I met her. Yeah. Right. So no, she was 38 at the time, and so and yeah, she wasn't like
you didn't get duped on this one. This was no just hook up over like you said,
mail order bride.
This was an established relationship for.
Well, you knew her for what, a year?
Yeah, a year and a half.
However long. Where did you guys actually meet?
Well, I met her on a Catholic website, and we talked for the longest time. I went over to meet her family. She told me, I hate to say what she said, but she told me her family didn't want me to see her. She said her mother slapped her and said, "I don't want to marry an American boy. And called her a name." That's what she told me.
Oh my
So I never met her, but I met some of her friends who I'm still friends with today. And she will not speak to them. And matter of fact, a couple that met over the same website was there in Trinidad when I came. And they're living in Texas now, happy. They got beautiful children, gorgeous, loving Christian family. And Leah won't even speak to them or any of them. And they've reached out on my behalf for the behalf of the children. And you know, this isn't the number one thing. You know, this is, I can't tell you how traumatic it was. Crazy, insane when it first happened. I was like, walking down the street, I can't believe it. My children have been kidnapped. You know what I mean? And just shaking my head. It's just,
and it still hits you because you're still like, you're sitting there and you just want to wake up from this bad nightmare and you can't.
And I can't even talk to my kids to see how they're doing or take them to a ball game or, you know what I mean? Here in Trinidad, children can come over to the United States and go to Disney World and all this other stuff. My children can't do any of that stuff. So, so the first 3 to 5 years, it was just crazy. And I just worked all the time. I worked. I fought. I went to Congress.
I'm going to help you people out.
D.C.
410-922-6680.
Flying back and forth to Trinidad. And it was just like the first 7 years. I mean, we're in 7.5 years now. Had gone by because I was either working or I was going to court.
What kind of work do you do for a living?
I'm a paramedic firefighter with Baltimore County over 27 years.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, is there ever a time where you're sitting there and you put your head down, you're like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'll give up.
You know, like,
or you feel like
oh my God,
that's
a good question.
I mean, and you know, here's the thing. You know, people say all kinds of things to you and they mean well and stuff that kind of like just hits you. And
Barry, I'm going to tell Stan,
happened with my kids.
Your Center Press. I'm reading right over here. Is this like little message and stuff?
Suicide.
So I see that.
Self-mutilated themselves where they cut their arms. Or
I'm going to tell them you said you're praying for them, man, and thank you for that. God bless you for that.
I can tell you, every one of them told me that their father gave up on them.
People want to join in.
On my heart. I will
There's a number, man.
Give up when you gave her on
410-922-6680.
I want you to know
410-922-6680. 410-922.
Every beat of my heart, every breath that I take.
6680.
And you know, I have a support group of a lot of other parents that have been left behind, and we meet together and we support each other. And it's like, you know, it's like your child dies every day. You wake up and you get some hope. You fight for another day, and then you feel like your child has died, and you wonder if you're ever going to see them again, if they ever know that they're going to love you.
You know, it's sad. There's so many kids out there that would love to have a father like you.
Oh, yeah.
And you are the father that every child would want, and then she's keeping them from that. And that's sad. And I tell you,
I'm impressed by your bravery.
Yeah,
you know,
man, I tell you.
You know, Jimmy's got kids. I have kids.
I mean, it breaks my heart, man. It does.
Scott Collier from Dundalk Television is also here in the studio. I don't know if Scott has children as well, but just the sheer thought of what you're going through again is something so major. We're coming up on Father's Day here. I mean, it probably just gets harder and harder. Some days are worse than others, I can only imagine. So, again, anything we can do here at the Speak Your Mind Show, we're going to do to try to help and keep pushing the message out there.
Oh, yes.
We're filming. This is all being documented, so it's going to be in rotation on YouTube. You know,
can
Facebook
you imagine, Derek? I'm looking at you, knowing because I know your wife. She's from Iceland.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, this.
I don't mind. It's horrible.
This. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying this. If someone can do this because they've been from another country, I mean, that would make everyone think who has a wife or a spouse from another country.
As I love my wife, the thought still crosses my mind that my daughter has dual citizenship. And at any given moment, if our relationship doesn't work out, then she can take my daughter.
Yeah.
And now, with me saying that, I also understand that I have a good, solid, healthy relationship with my wife. In some cases, on the bright side, because of my established relationship with my wife, that might not be such a bad thing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Not quite like your scenario there, Stan. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Leah, I mean, her mom comes down, and all of a sudden things are going sour. I mean, it sounds like she was easily influenced. Was she promised something?
2 minutes to break.
After my little girl was born, that was our second child, I thought Leah was showing signs of postpartum depression. She was crying all the time for no reason, and she didn't know why. I asked her if she wanted to get help. We went to a counselor, and as we're walking out the door, the counselor pulled me off to the side and said he caught her in a lie. And that was after her mother came in to town. And he said, be careful, she's got borderline. And I didn't know what that was.
Oh, my God.
Borderline. The lie? The lie was we were riding down the road, and her mother said I took advantage of a troubled child. And got upset about that. It was a stupid
it was stupid.
You know what I mean? And I brought that up in the counselor's meeting when we were talking back and forth, because Lee was saying I was abusing her physically, mentally, and psychologically, and stuff like that. And
That's not true.
And the counselor caught that lie, but then he said, well, wait a minute, you're saying one thing, and Leah's saying something else, and there's only one other person that can break that, and that would be your mother. Do you mind if we call your mother up? And I'm thinking, oh man, I'm sunk.
Yeah.
So right there and then, we called her mother up in Trinidad, and I used my phone, I gave it to Leah, and the counselor asked some questions, and then put her on the phone, well, Leah's mother...
Welcome to Speak Your Mind, Ron Savage calling, answering, and who's calling in, please?
She was upset about that. And the counselor just said, look, I'm not here to make judgments on anybody. I'm just here to try to see if I can help people be happy. And maybe help the marriage work if
That's a great idea, Barry. I'm gonna when we get our break, I'm gonna walk in there and tell them that. I gotta go, I got a heartbreak.
Okay, because does this not sound like does this not sound like the most immaculate book story? Like, I mean,
I gotta do it. City of New Orleans, our country.
Well, Annette is the publicist of Stellium Books, so she could actually help you put this book together. So, hey, we gotta go to break, though, guys. We'll be right back with the Speak Your Mind show right after these messages.
We conducted 25 sacks of mail.
This feels like heaven. Now, that was the first thing I said when I stepped in the model home. The cool, smooth floor under my feet.
The next song coming back is
I just have to have
Sugar Sugar by the Archies. Now Barry was a caller. Barry called up. He had a really good suggestion right now, but if they could have a microchip, and I'm gonna ask them about that. Barry called up again, and he just so people don't think I'm talking to myself. Like
no, he's talking to me.
Because I do talk to myself.
He does talk to himself. I talk to myself.
877.
No, but anyway, Barry made a suggestion about having a microchip into a child.
Floor.com. And now through the end of the month, get free installation. And if you mention the promo code
see, I'm in the middle of the road with that.
We're getting there.
We're gonna find it with the cell phones and stuff like that.
50 floor.
But I don't want to walk into the situations, which is a whole other subject about the New World Order. About everybody now, everybody's going to get a microchip. But it's too much of government, too much things. Yeah. But I can sympathize.
Less government, remember?
Yeah, less government.
More for the people, less government.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. That's a good suggestion with the heart. But looking at the big picture would open another gate. So now everybody may have a chip implanted.
Do you want a microchip? Are you gonna go walk down to your local microchip implanting facility and say, yeah, I'd like my microchip, please? I'm probably not going.
No, I'm not going. You know, Chip, I'll have a potato chip.
Yeah, I'll take a potato chip. You got a good kettle cooked potato chip? I'll take one
chips,
of them.
Crab chips.
Too. Crab chip too. Microchip, no.
We're going to St. Jude, and we're going to bring it back with the Archies, guys. Thank you, Barry, for your insight. And then 410-922-6680. That's 410-922-6680.
Building excellence for over 40 years. Listen every Sunday. for a broadcast from the internationally known St. Jude Shrine.
Here comes the Archies. You're going to fucking love it.
St. Jude is the patron saint of despair and hope.
The Archies! The Archies!
Every Sunday from 6:05 to 6:20 a.m. on WCBM.
Yeah, baby! Do it, baby!
Sugar.
Honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you.
And now more of Speak Your Mind with Derek Stroman and Jimmy Zane on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
You're on, baby.
Guys, welcome back to Speak Your Mind here on WCBM 680 Talk Radio. And, you know, we are
Wasn't that
getting
a good
close to
song?
the end of our
Wasn't that a good
show.
song?
And but I tell you, there's some websites that things that you want to state before we leave. That way,
please.
Yeah.
If anybody would like to donate to the financial causes, hunkskids.org. It has all the legal documents on there, except for the warrant. The warrant's not posted on there,
Right.
but the contempt charge and everything like that. There is a fine against her close to $1 million and $1,000 a day. Hunkskids.org. Also, I'd like to thank a couple people that have Gail Sullivan of Permastitch, Kathleen Griffin, who worked on my website and called Endless Media.
Awesome.
Rondell Fields, the Single Father Association, Trinidad and Tobago, who reached out to me, didn't even know who I was. Bridget Poole, Don Adams, Jeffrey Morehouse of Back Home, Noel Hunter, President Iceland, and Randall Murphy, whose children, he had full custody of the kids, and Canada took his custody rights away.
how is that possible?
Well, once a child goes into another country, they lose their U.S.
That's right.
support.
That's correct. Yes.
So, so children are vulnerable to this, and this is the number one thing, is that it's abusive to children. They're taking half their identity away. They're taking away their grandparents, their godparents, their nieces.
They're taking their life.
They're taking their life away, and they're living in a lie, and they don't know. And then for the rest of their life, this can affect them unless they
Oh,
get
that's a
help.
good freaking song.
You know, and it takes a long time. There was a gentleman.
Oh, that's a good freaking song.
Who I was just speaking with recently, who was a child.
Pick it up
who
to
was
pieces
adopted
with the average white
out of the
band.
country.
Pick it up
And
to pieces.
His mother
Freaking great.
had him change his name and her name, and he was the first case in the United States to be returned. And he's got a book out, Extraordinary Life. An awesome guy. He lives up in upstate New York, and he has been, and his name is skipping my mind, for God's sake, and I just talked to him the other day. He's an amazing guy. Get his book. It's available on Amazon, Extraordinary Life.
Extraordinary Life.
Yes, and it talks about what a child goes through. That it took him a couple of years, because even after his dad got him back, and he still knew his dad, to even adapt back to his real name.
That's the thing that's going to concern me. And Anastasia and your son are so young when they're taken. Every day is like part of that can be erased. It's what I mean. Anastasia's not going to remember anything, and that's the sad thing.
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen her for 6 months, and children remember things that you don't realize. And we were just at an I.L.A. event up in D.C., and children can still remember you. We had a child that was just a young baby and remembered something familiar about their father. A 1-year-old remembered details.
Very good point.
Wow. Yes.
1-year-old.
One thing about that is, I tell people this all the time. I don't care how old a child is when they are taken away, maybe not from an abduction or kidnapping or anything, but when they reach a certain age, they want to know who their parents are. They want to know who their mother is, if the mother's not present, and who their father is. First and foremost and primarily. One of those two or both, okay? Whether they're foster children or not. Who is my real dad?
Right.
Who is my real mom? And believe me, the same thing applies to you, Stan.
Yeah, and people's going to. I mean, they're going to grow up and realize something was wrong. You just can't hide something like this. It's just not possible.
I have a lot of support in Trinidad and Tobago from a lot of people that realize this is wrong. The Single Father Association. Scott Byrne was the first child, and him and his brother were returned. And he's an awesome guy. And his book is to help children to know that there's hope. You know what I mean?
2 minutes, heartbreak.
It's very, very confusing and very difficult and traumatizing for them. He thought his dad was dead. And That's what he was told by his mother.
Jeez.
And his book is it's called Extraordinary Circumstances. So if you can get that book, it'll really help people understand the trauma that a child goes through.
And Leah's not going to be able to come back here to the United States. If she is, she's going to face serious criminal charges.
Yeah, but I would pray. I would beg mercy for her if she did. You know what I mean? I wouldn't keep them from seeing their children. I wouldn't. You know, I don't know how that would work, but I would want my children to be healthy, to know their mom and dad.
Right. Well, here's a far-fetched question for you, but realistic. What could the potential chances of you and her ever reestablishing some kind of reasonable relationship? What
I don't know.
Where are you? Because
That's
don't
a good
know
question.
People actually ask you that question. Where are you with that after what she's done? Would you ever establish a good relationship with her in the future?
You know, I pray for her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that something happened to her. To make her the way she is.
You still love her?
I love her in my
She's
heart.
the mother of your kids.
My mother of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate her. I have a lot of anger toward her mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that there's something not right.
Right.
And she is the mother of my kids, and
of course.
I don't. She's messed up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I feel sorry for her.
What you saying, that?
What's
I
that?
can really understand the mixed feelings that we go through.
Right.
You know, your body, heart, and everything, you know, connected to someone that you're in love with and you have children with. And I think Daddy's very benevolent to say, I wouldn't keep my kids from her because he wants his kids to have the benefit of both parents.
And before we leave, real quick.
I wanted to say, I'm not the publicist of Stellia Books. I'm the owner.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you for the
If you
correction.
needed any kind of even advice, you wouldn't have to go with me. If you needed any advice, come to me. And I was interested in knowing when's the last time you saw your children.
November of 2011.
And let me ask you a real quick question, because we're getting ready to get off the air. Have you gotten into another relationship? Are you single? What?
I am in a relationship right now.
Stay connected with stimulating talk and breaking news on Talk Radio 680 WCBM, Baltimore.
Cut it, babe.
WCBM.com.
Americans demonstrate against Sharia law. I'm Carmen Roberts, Fox News. Protesters turn out in 28 cities from Seattle to New York.
I had to cut it, man. I said no. That was wrong. I said one more. I said I can't do it. I had to cut them off. We got news at the top of the hour. That just.
What did you? How much of that last piece did you think that he caught? Did he catch him saying that he is still in a relationship?
Did I what?
Did he catch him saying he's still in a relationship? You think?
I don't think that. Because I cut everybody off, I had to bring that in. I don't know, it's 50-50 because I was running around like it was bad. Bad cut.
It was bad. It was bad. It's all right.
Now, if we need once in a while, as mental as it sounds, we need something like that for the drama of the show. I hate to say it, but I mean, even though it's because we're left field, it says, look, we got to cut right now. So like Orson Welles, we just had ships just landed right in the fields. Please stay in your houses. Please. He's just off. He was just on the air. I'm sorry, we don't have any more. We don't have anybody on the air anymore. Something happened in the field.
It's not bad because of the guests that we have.
No. It's just timing. It's just a timing. But that just shows how filled this show can be. The show's over.
I was hoping that Jimmy was going to close it out.
No, he wouldn't close it out. You start bringing another question, man. Unbelievable. That's okay. Because I couldn't even. Picking up the pieces was the last song. But everybody, thank you so much for listening and watching Speak Your Mind tonight on AM 680 WCBM. I'm going to go now. Listen every Saturday night at 12 o'clock midnight. Tomorrow, St. Leo's Festival. St. Anthony's right down there in Little Italy. Come on. Be there or be square.